Welcome back, Gameway King family, to another F1 Clash video, and we're here for our winter event boost guide video, where we give you the best boost options to be used in the winter event here. All right, before we jump into it, remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed to any of post notifications. Also, remember to smash that like button, and let's jump straight into our winter event boost guide here. All right, so our first race in the winter event is going to be 100% wet race. Pardon me, camera is shaking all around. All right, so it's going to be 100% wet race for Brazil, which is going to be a very nice race. Brazil 100% wet. And let's take a quick look at the feature of Brazil. 100% wet is going to be speed and corners. So boosts like the Hex that I only have 13 off. Hutch, can you please give some Hex as a reward for one of these events? Alright, so Hex with speed. And once it's going to be wet, you want to go for a boost with that speed and that wetness ability. Alright, and we have the Exception, which is going to give you speed and wetness ability as well. And then you can go for corners and wetness ability with the Tune. For corners and some wetness ability, the Prince with corners and wetness ability there. So you can select one driver with the Tune and one driver with the Hex, and that will be good enough for your 100% Brazil race, right? So the next race up is going to be Singapore, which is going to be corners and grip. So let's go back and take a quick look. All right, so corners and grip. So we have the downforce with both corners and grip in there. We have the Jin with both corners and grip in there. We have the Odd with corners and grip in there. So we also have the Kawaii with corners and grip in there. So for your Singapore race, you could go like Kawaii boost with your driver with the highest tire management. If your driver has low tire management, then you want to go for boosts like the downforce with the driver with the low tire management. So you give him the downforce, and the driver with the good tire management, you can then go ahead and give another boost like the Odd boost, or if you want to go for the Jin boost with those drivers, or if you want to go for grip with tire management for both drivers, because both of them tire management is a little bit low, boost like the Eagle will work there with that extra tire management. All right, for the next track, it's going to be Monza, Italy. All right, so Monza, Italy is one of those strange tracks. You could throw some speed in there in Monza. There's a few straights in there that you could get some overtaking on, but we see the main feature of Monza being corners and grip. All right, so because it's corners and grip, on Monza the track is very long, so you want to go for mostly tire management with that corners and grip. So a boost like the downforce here would be good for Monza. A boost like the Eagle will be good for Monza. The Taurus, though it gives you just one corners, it still will be good for Monza because of the tire management. The Street Shark, good for Monza, tire management. The SAR, good for Monza, though it's not wet, but yeah, tire management and its corners in there. And if you want to go for grip, then you can go for some grip, but make sure you put some tire management on those drivers for Monza. The boost, the event boost, the Frost is good for Monza. As you can see, it gives you grip and tires. All right, so really good for Monza there. All right, so those boosts are the boosts you could select for Monza. Now, France is the next track coming up. Let's take a quick look to confirm. Yep, France, next track coming up. So France requires the same thing as Monza, corners and grip. However, you can still throw a little bit of speed in France. You have a lot of long straights where boosts like the Dead Fast will work well to pull some overtake on those straights for you. But the main feature of this track is corners and grip. Now, if you could get a boost with some corners and grip and speed in there, then that will be great. But we don't have such boost. All right, we don't have a boost with corners, grip, and speed. We don't have such boost. All right, so you could go if one of your drivers qualify out in the front, then you could go for a boost like the Vice or one of those boosts there, but you still mainly want to go for boost with corners and grip. And France is another one of those tracks that degrades tires really fast. So any boost with good tire management and grip or good tire management and corners would be the optimal choice for France. All right, let's see the next track. It's going to be Austria for our next track. Yep, Austria. So Austria is going to be speed and corners with fuel. All right, so if you could go speed and corners with some fuel for Austria, then that will be amazing. So a boost like the Skull that gives you fuel and corners is really good for Austria there. A boost like the Taurus that gives you fuel and corners, really good for Austria. So you could go like one of your drivers on the Skull boost, and then the next driver you want to give him some speed so he can run. So you could go dead fast. You could go Vice for Austria. All right, so any boost that gives you some top speed, Street Shark, the Hex boost, the Fireworks, really good to be used on France, not France, on Austria. All right, for those speed and corners. All right, so the next track coming up is going to be Belgium. It's going to be the same thing as France. Belgium is basically the same, not France, the same thing as Austria. Belgium, speed and corners, and anything with fuel added with the speed and corners is really good. So a boost like the Instinct boost here that we take for granted is really good at Austria and Belgium. So the Instinct right there will give you some speed with extra fuel, really good. The Samba that gives you speed and fuel, though I would use that in the wet instead of using it in the dry, but yeah. All right, so any boost that gives you speed and corners, really good for France, especially for Belgium, especially if it has a little extra fuel in there. Really good for those tracks. All right, next track up is going to be Japan, and it's going to be dry race for Japan. So dry Japan, we're going to be seeing grip and corners being the featured part. So you want to go for that. Japan is another one of those tracks where tire degradation is really bad. So you want to go for grip and corners and something that gives you a little bit of tire management as well. All right. So if you go for the downforce on Japan, that would be good, as it gives you grip, corners, and it gives you a little bit of tire management as well. All right, and then you could come back and go for another boost like the Rooster that gives you some grip and good tires. You could come back and go for Jin if your driver has good tire management. Then you could go for that, or you could go for Eagle that gives you grip with good tire management as well. All right, Taurus, another boost you could go for. Eternal Flame that gives you grip with some tires as well for Japan. All right, so our final race is going to be Canada, 29% chance of rain. I think Belgium was 27% chance of rain as well. So the boosts remain the same for Belgium with wetness ability. So you want to go for a speed and corners boost with wetness ability for your Belgium race. All right, so we see Canada and is 29% chance of rain, and we see its speed and corners if it's wet, and we see its corners and grip if it's dry for Canada. Now Canada is one of those tracks where not a lot affects the race in Canada. The only thing I could say that affects your race in Canada is going longer on your tires. So a boost like the Butterfly boost right here that gives you good tires and fuel will be good for Canada. You could go longer on Canada with those with a boost like that. Anything that gives you extra fuel with tires with the featured part of grip and corners will be a good boost to use at Canada. All right, because all you want to do on Canada is mainly try to go longer than your rival and then try to get as much boost back to pit so you can gain some time coming back to pit, so you can go in the pit and jump out in front of somebody else. All right, so that's how you're mainly going to gain positions as Canada, as overtaking is like next to impossible at Canada. All right, but your drivers will get overtake anyways. But yeah, it is what it is. So we see corners and grip, and if it's wet, then it's going to be speed and corners for Canada. All right, so let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this one. Use code word CARS down below to let me know that you made it to this portion of the video. Really appreciate you guys who watch the full videos, for all your support. And that's basically going to be it for this one. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Walk good, guys. Bye. Shout out to Marco Pedrana, JJ, Vid Mantis, Christopher Graves, Alfredo Jr., Nathan Arsenio, and Touch My Dilly.